pretty far south in Texas. We've got all kinds of influences, whether it's food, cultures, language. It's just an interesting mix where everybody can participate in a place that all of us enjoy living in.
For me, it's like an honor and a privilege to play with San Antonio. The fans come every night, every game. I just love them. They're always excited. They love the Spurs.
It just makes me happy to see them win. It really does. It comes with the pride for being a Texan, the pride for being born here in San Antonio. No matter what, I'm always going to love them till the day I die.
They show a lot of love on every single game when we're on the streets, on the shop, or anywhere. So we feel very blessed.
A standing ovation for the Spurs from the sellout crowd here at the AT&T Center.
The fans in San Antonio think of the Spurs as their neighbors, their friends. It's our team, and any problems anybody has, it just goes to the wayside, and everybody just stands up and unites for their Spurs.
The city of San Antonio has been an absolute perfect fit for me. I truly believe we have the best fans in the NBA. They're diehard, and you love to have people like that.
It is a big family at the Spurs, and the Spurs are all family with San Antonio. And you know what? Everybody catches that spirit, and they want to be a part of that.
Well, the Spurs are owned by every citizen of San Antonio. We're like everybody's child. Everybody cares about the Spurs, and everybody lives and dies with Spurs losses and wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, your San Antonio Spurs! We're tied at 101.
In 2006, the San Antonio Spurs were on the verge of winning one of the epic playoff battles in NBA history against the Dallas Mavericks.
It's the Manu Trace! Manu Ginobili just hit a three-pointer!
They were one defensive stand away from victory, but that stand never came.
Nowitzki right in the lane, rolls him right to the rim, and lays it in and draws the foul. What a clutch play by Dirk.
The Spurs season is over. The Dallas Mavericks have defeated the San Antonio Spurs.
So it was kind of tough, especially lose Game 7 at home. And you go back in the locker room, and I saw Michael Finley cry.
We were all hurt. The faces were really sad, and it was hard to talk to each other because how upset we felt.
It was probably one of the most disappointing losses I've ever been a part of. The team was very hurt by it because we felt like everything's set up for us to go back and win another championship. So we just said, hey, think about it, realize what happened, and then build on it.
The Spurs would begin their 2007 season on foreign soil as they opened up their training camp in France.
I can't think of a better place to start camp. The best part about it is the camaraderie that can develop, when you're in another place.
Can you please go get Coach Popovich doing push-ups and sit-ups? You want entertainment?
Bernie, let me ask you the same question I asked Will. You got as much talent as Tony Parker and myself? Yeah. We still have to do all this stuff?
Yeah.
In some ways, it made perfect sense for the Spurs to be there. They were the NBA's most international team.
Mon ami! Let's go! How do you say backwards in Spanish, Manu? Para atrás. Para atrás. Para atrás. That doesn't look anything like backwards to me.
But the Spurs weren't there for a field trip.
Come on, Manu, get in shape, get in shape. Run, run, run! Listening is important. Then maybe we don't foul Nowitzki the last play of the game. We have another ring.
We're refocused, we're back in it, and we're excited to get started again.
What the Spurs were excited for was another championship run. They had the league's most successful team for over a decade and had won 3 titles. Their coach Gregg Popovich and his great center Tim Duncan had been there for all of them.
Pop's military background sets the tone here as far as wanting things in a disciplined order. With his discipline, it moves on down to the soldiers. That's where, you have your sergeant and Tim. He's going to go with his sergeant and make sure all the privates are in order.
One of the privates of note was lightning-quick point guard Tony Parker.
Beautiful scoop play by Tony Parker from way down low.
Parker was flanked by the Argentinian Manu Ginobili, a relentless competitor.
Ginobili. Oh, Ginobili with the move. It's done.
And then there was Bruce Bowen, one of the game's best defensive players.
Nowitzki with the fake on Bowen. Bowen with the block on Messiah. What a play.
And there were seasoned veterans Robert Horry and Michael Finley, who were always ready to make the big shot.
Clock winding down. Back out. Finley puts up the three. It's good. Finley nails the three with 1.3 remaining.
The Spurs were one of the deepest teams in the league.
Alberto Duncan. Count it. And a foul. Oh,
But as the season unfolded, the Spurs failed to live up to their lofty expectations.
Uncharacteristic mental meltdown here.
Early in the season, we had a lot of problems. We had a lot of up and downs, and we didn't play as well as 2006, where we had the best record.
Wow! Blocked there by Millsap and rode him right out of bounds.
We didn't dominate like we used to, and we didn't win the close game like we used to.
Pretty simple. You got to find yourself. Spurs have got to get back to playing Spurs basketball.
Early January to mid-February was being really tough for us.
When you look at Dallas and the way they're playing, and Phoenix as well, but you can't be concerned about them. This team's got to get better itself.
They've got to get better. Let's talk about it after they come back from the rodeo road trip. That usually cures all the ail.
There's going to be enough time for a catch and shoot. 0.8 is left. They lob it up high. Howard! Oh, man! You got to be kidding me! You got to be kidding me! Howard wins the game! And the Spurs are stunned as they head to the locker room.
Well, right now they're 8 games on the loss side behind Dallas, so we know that they're being questioned, Mike, and this is very difficult for this team to accept.
Another block!
San Antonio will go 2-4 on this rodeo road trip. We have All-Star Weekend Friday, and the trade deadline really not too far away.
I think somebody in the West got to make a trade to catch Dallas. But the only team I'm talking about is San Antonio. Everybody in the West is chasing Dallas, and I expect San Antonio to do something.
Trade rumors were swirling around the Spurs.
We were getting worried. We were not used to going through that kind of adversity. It was being really tough for us.
Unaccustomed to struggling during the regular season, the Spurs were frustrated.
It's cost us games, and it's cost us big games when people don't listen. It's your responsibility to know what the hell we're in all the time, and it's your responsibility to help your teammates. That is a big improvement that we can make as a group. All right, so keep that in mind, everybody, as we move along.
When Dallas and Phoenix got off to such a hot start, that was really troubling for us. The outside chatter about us being too old or not athletic enough, it was messing with our heads a little bit.
But despite the uncertainty, the Spurs had a reservoir of stability to fall back on, and its source was the bond between Pop and Tim that began 10 years ago.
We got the first pick. Pop went to St. Croix and spent 3 or 4 days just hanging out with Tim, walking on the beach with him. That really was the beginning of their relationship.
I thought if I went down in his home environment, that it might help me understand who he is.
There were many times early in their time together when Tim was making his way into the NBA, and he used Pop as a counselor a lot. Tim's father was ill during that time, and I think that Pop and Tim really shared some private moments that many coaches and players don't have happen.
The one thing you said we're not going to do?
Right,
in the middle?
Because it's hard to do, and I figure it makes you guys work on your hedges a little bit more. I'm a mean person. But I think
contradictory. I don't know about mean.
We'll stick with a little bit with mostly blitz and it's evolved like a marriage does, in the sense that I probably don't say half as much to him as I used to, basketball-wise, or we have code words where he understands what I'm thinking before I think it.
The wiring in your brain might accept this. If I just change the name of it, you won't know, and then you'll run it maybe.
Okay. I still don't know it.
One play, 7 years. I know it. It's only been 7 years. That's all right.
Duncan would go on to win 2 MVPs, and many considered him the perfect player. But for Pop, perfection is a never-ending quest.
TD, what are we in? On pick and roll, what are we in? We're in hands. Let's go.
Any team superstar that can handle criticism and are willing to improve, you've got a special player, because everybody else can't make an excuse.
When you're the star and, and the coach gets on you, that makes all the other people behind you like, oh, he's getting on 10. Well, I better fall in line behind him.
Serious, let's do it. You guys got to see the ball the whole time. All right?
And Pop and Duncan have made the honesty and affection that they share part of the team character.
The relationship Tim has with the group and the players that have come through during his 10 years is probably the best relationships that I've ever seen a superstar and his teammates have.
Now we got a game tomorrow, so you guys are going to lighten up on the press a little bit, right? You can't talk to those guys 24 hours a day, Tony. I don't care if they're from Paris or not, right? All they want is a story. You want to win basketball games, so you can spend some time on the game and not all those people.
I never had a head coach invite me to dinner, in the summer, or invite me to his house, and talk about stuff. He's like, when it's not basketball, he's a great guy.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got to talk about that first floor. You guys
I don't think I've ever been on a team where a coach says, know something about your teammate, know about what's going on in his life, get to know him. Because if you know something about your teammate, he becomes a part of you. He becomes like family. And this is the only team I've been on that emphasized family more than anything I ever seen before.
And now, with the trade deadline quickly approaching, Pop would have to choose whether or not to keep the family together.
Pop went in the locker room and said, guys, there's not going to be anybody we're going to bring in here to salvage the season. There's going to be no heroes. This is the group we're going with, and this is the group we're going to see if we're good enough.
We will not make a trade, no matter what it says in the papers or on TV. We were not going to do it, and we were all basically stuck with each other, so to speak.
Ginobili, just his second miss. Duncan for the offensive board and refeeds Ginobili. Triple teamed inside, still scores and one.
He set the team in the right direction. He got guys looking around saying, hey, you know what, I got to do my part.
Jock Vaughn scoops it out. Finley for 3. You betcha. Bowen pokes it away. Bowen steals a basketball. Tony Parker to Tim. Count it. Oh, mama.
We had a coach who wanted to stay the course and believed in the players that he was putting out on the floor.
Horry and Duncan, terrific blocks. Parker keeping it alive. Yes! To Bowen, and he scores! Oh, what a terrific defensive work and hustling effort by the Spurs.
Defensively, we got better. Offensively, we got better. And we just started playing more cohesive like a team.
Right wing Ginobili. Horry sets a screen for Manu. Whips a pass inside Oberto. He finds Horry for a layup. Nice passing by the Spurs.
It was as if their whole season had magically turned around in one moment. But Popovich knew that it was much more than that.
A man sits and watches a stonecutter doing his job with his chisel and watches him pound on this rock.
Duncan the rebound.
And it takes a long time and nothing's happening. And he starts counting each one of the little hits on the rock, and he gets to 100 and nothing happens. And finally on the 101st blow, that rock opens up and splits.
Bowen on the drive, flips it inside Horry to Duncan, banks it in.